Okay. Oh, okay. I'm currently at my mom's house right now. She's a hairstylist, so like I sometimes go back to her house like to get my hair done. I could dye my own hair. It's just a box dye or whatever. But it's our little like time together or whatever. But anyway, she came and picked me up. I just came in my like, cause it's just that I'm just going to my mom's house. I don't really need to get dressed for that. And she's in town. Like we live in the same town, so basically this one's I'm playing with her while I'm talking. But basically, my grandma lives in town too. So like she was like, I'm gonna go bring her apples or whatever. So can we go do that like on the way? And I was like, sure. And when we got there, my grandma was on the floor, and she was there for 3 hours. She fell and she broke her hip, so she's in the hospital right now. My mom's going to sign paperwork and stuff, and so she can get pushed through for surgery and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, obviously, like, I'm not happy, but, like, I'm kind of emotionally numb at this, but like I said, like, I'm just kind of focusing on my to-do list, and I'm not stuck at my mom's house. Like, I could go back to my apartment if I needed to. It's within walking distance, but I'm in my robe, and it's just easier for me just to stay the night here, like I already have my pajamas, I could watch it. I kind of wanted to watch that Diddy, that 50 Cent documentary, so I figured I could do that while I'm here. But yeah, like they were talking about like, okay, what are the options? Either her not going to surgery or her going to surgery. And I was like, I'm not trying to be like anti-surgery, but like, she's on warfarin and she's like in her 90s. And like, I was like, but my mom said like, no, she already discussed all the case scenarios with her. And like, my grandma doesn't want to be resuscitated if she's not gonna, like, if there's not really a good chance that she could get, like, if it's gonna be more trouble than it's worth, basically. And but like these kind of surgeries, she was like, yeah, no, might as well get this done. And then, like, they even asked about like blood transfusions and stuff like that, and it's like, no, that's all on the table, that's all good. And I was like, yeah, no, of course. And I was like, so I kind of changed my opinion. I was like, okay, well, if she's down to get the surgery, then I'm down. It's like it's because like the alternative is that she just lives in like horrible pain the whole entire time. And it's like, that's not good. But yeah, I'm just kind of like, I don't know. And I was watching like the other video, especially the one I did of Tammy Benson or whatever, and I was like, was I being too harsh? And it's like, no, I don't even think that, because I'm allowed to have my opinion. I'm allowed, and I'm not like going up to her shit and harassing her. Like if I was like being like overtly reactive to what happened, then yeah, I'd probably be like, okay, you need to cool down, Kayla, But I basically like not drew a line in the sand, but I was like, do not come to my house or I will proceed with all those things. So that was like my fine line. It's like, I just want to get a transfer. At this point, I just want to transfer. And we could call it, like, we could forget about all this shit, And so everybody else is like that. But, like, this crazy bitch, she's like, we're gonna, like, I'll come on Wednesday. And I'm like, it's like, it's like, this is, and I just explained that to my mom, too. It's like, I said, I want an educational specialist. I can help you. I want an educational specialist. I can help you. Don't fucking come on Wednesday. I'm coming on Wednesday. Like, do you see how she's not, like, fucking listening to me? Like, it's like, yeah. And then, like, it's the weird fucking gaslighting of, like, that this shit's not going down. And it's like, is she just really not that self-aware? And like, and the other option, this is the more like optimistic kind of assumption, is that she did do all the work, but she just wants to talk and do she was just trying to be friendly or something like that. And it's like I said, even if that's the case, like, don't fuck around with me, just like, it's like, It's kind of you know, Fiddler on the Roof. Like, Yenta, you said you had news for me, but she doesn't have any fucking news for you, and she just steals all your cookies. You know, it's like, you know, like, if you ever watched that movie, like, it takes forever for Yenta to talk to her about Laser Wolf. Like, it was like the whole time, it's like, Yenta, you said you had news for me, and you know, it's like milking it or some shit. It's like, no, I don't have time for that bullshit. I'm only posting videos because, one, growth of a YouTube channel, who knows what can happen, and then two, and that makes it sound like I'm trying to do it for, like, sensationalism. No. In the same way that I journal, I'm using these videos as kind of like, well, I mean, record my time here on Earth, you know, like, and yeah, it's like mental, like, to be able to rant and to do stuff, and also to, like, recall and stuff, and stuff like that. You know, I do that with my journals. Like, sometimes I go back and look at, like, some of my old posts and see where I was at. Like, even my physical journals, like, I will go back and look at, like, oh, especially when, like, some tarot card readers are, like, you know, or, the tarot ship with Jimmy, you know, like, he does, like, the astrology stuff, and he's like, this is just like back in, like, 2012, you know, or whatever. I'm like, well, shit, man, like, I don't remember what the fuck happened in 2012, so, like, I go back, get my little journal, look it up, and I'm like, oh, that, like, you know, just for that kind of stuff, you know, you gotta see, like, you know, it's good to make or chronicle things, you know, doesn't have to be public, it could be private, but it's just, like, a good thing to do, chronicle in general. Thinking about back to my grandma, she did that too. She wrote all this stuff, but she kept it very informational. Like, she wasn't really, like, writing a novel or anything like that. She just wanted to keep a record of everybody's, like, you know, where they were born, where, like, you know, she just kept track of everything, like, very, like, an itemized list or something of each person. I was like, that's kind of crazy, but, like, I get, you know, because my grandma, she lived through the depression or whatever, like, you know, like, trauma things, but this is her way of wanting to keep those memories alive, you know, like, I get that. Even though it's not the most poetic way to go about it, you know? but, you know. Oh, it's so crazy. I saw the look in her eyes, and I told my mom she's in the spirit world. And she's like, they just injected her with a bunch of pain medicine. And I'm like, yeah, that's still the spirit world, bro. Like, what do you think people do with ayahuasca and shit? Like, you know, drugs get you there. Whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, it's not. But anyway, I know, my spiritual views are so different than everybody in my family. Like, but I don't think it's wrong. Obviously, like, I think the best course of action, like, if I were thinking about, like, developing my spiritual beliefs and stuff more, it'd be like, I need to go to a temple, like a Buddhist temple, or like a shaman, or like, you know, like, I don't, like, it doesn't, like, you know, just because Christianity doesn't ring true to me, or not true, like, what should I say? I'm not questioning the validity of Christianity. Like, oh, did Jesus really die on the cross or whatever, or is he the Son of God? I'm not even questioning that. It's just like what resonates with me, and it's like, well, I've been raised in this culture and this religion for a good while, and then I just, like, I need to branch out. I need to go find something that gives me that, you know, holy epiphany or whatever. And, you know, and my guides or my whatever my instincts are. Girl, you just put your paw on my fucking nipple. Okay. Over there. Yeah. What's wrong with you? You're so cute. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Pretty girl. Is you a pretty girl? You's a pretty girl? Yeah. You're actually so cute. Okay, anyway. She doesn't know how to feel. She's like, I just want to play. Okay, yeah. But anyway, yeah, so like I do feel guided to go seek out some sort of like mentorship or something, like, you know, like get advice, get guidance from like an outside source. Maybe I won't go to a Christian establishment, maybe not even a Jewish or anything like that, maybe not Muslim or anything like that. I feel really called to, you know, because I always say that, like, you know, I think in my past life I was an arhat of Buddha, so I mean, like, it's not that I don't resonate with it in this life, but it's like I recognize that as a past life, you know, like, so I'm like, well, do I really need to go back down that route? And I'm just like, you know what? Who knows? Maybe if I do that, like, things will come back to me or something like that, you know. Or, you know, like, just something's telling me I need to be open to, spiritual guidance at this point in time. Like, I feel like I need, and like, not the kind, like, even if I was Christian, you know, like how some people just like read the Bible quietly by themselves or something. Like, I don't think it's like that kind of like introspection that I need. I need to talk to somebody who, you know, might have more insight than me, you know, at this point in time, spiritually speaking, you know, just, I need to seek that out at some point. There is, like, okay, so I'm going to this school, and, like, you know what's so crazy is that they have this, right next to the school, I find this so interesting, right next to the school is, like, a spiritual center, like, it's not Christian, like, it's not, it doesn't say any religion, it's like a spiritual center, and I was like, it's right at the entrance of the school, like, you could kind of, like, you could go down the driveway of, or whatever, the entrance of the school, right before you get into there, it's right next to it, like, right before you go into the campus, and I was like, oh, that's very fascinating, I kind of want to, you know, give that a go. I might, like, you know, I might mosey on down there during, like, in between classes or something like that, you know. It might be a good idea. So I was like, yeah, that's probably what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna, I mean, like, that's what I said before, right? Like, I was like, my schedule this term is gonna put me a lot in Salem. So I might as well make the most of it while I'm there, you know, like, if, you know, if there's resources or spiritual guidance or whatever, or educational guidance, or, you know, whoever, I gotta make the most of it, you know. So, hey, I'm kind of excited now, like, thinking about all the things that I kind of want to do now. You know, like, yeah, I don't, like, you know, back when I was younger, I used to make, like, really grand goals. Like, I would kind of make this outrageous, like, be very, proactive, or not proactive, like, just overly ambitious. I think these are good goals to have. Like, I think that they can be feasibly done, and it will help. I'm so sorry about the dog. She's bored. She's bored, and look at how cute she is. Look at that little face. Look at her eyes. So pretty. Beauty. Is he a beauty? He's a beauty? Okay, anyway. He's a pretty girl? Who's a pretty girl? Are you a pretty girl? Oh, what are you thinking about? He's so cool. He's a cutie pie. She's like, I don't care. I just want to play. I keep on telling her, we gotta go to the beach at some point. Like, she needs to go to the beach. Like, that's what makes me kind of sad is, like, my mom's, like, an older woman now. So, like, she can't, like, you know, our other dogs, you know, they had, like, such rich lives. Like, they went on trips. They did a lot of things. I'm worried that this one is not going to get all of that. So I said, like, at the very least, we need to at least take her to the beach. Because I think that'll be good for her. Because she has way more energy than some of those other dogs that we had. Like, she has a lot of energy. So, like, you know, she can't help it if she's Sporty Spice, you know? Like, she's Sporty Spice. Look at her. Anyway. She's a little sporty spice. She's a Leo. Look at it's Aquarius and Leo. We sisters. Beauty. Anyway. So yeah, like I'm just. It's kind of like a random update, I guess. And just because, you know, I don't know, my hand's shaking. Like I can't stabilize. Yeah, it sucks. Like everything that's happening sucks, but like I do have things to look forward to coming this next term, and there's like kind of hard things too where I need to like we figured out the TAM events and things, so like I need like it's water on the bridge at this point, so I need to just like leave it alone. Like it's been handled, like so it's okay. It's just annoying. Like the fact that I had to go through that is annoying. But I have things to look forward to. I do have some difficult emails to write, but I will write them probably tonight, I guess. You know what's crazy too is like, this is my grandma. I'm pretty sure a lot of people do this, but like, when you look at your family's faces and you're like, oh, you got like Uncle Joe's nose, or you got like Aunt Susie's chin, or something like that. As my grandma's gotten older, and her face has gotten more, for lack of better words, sunken in or whatever, I found out that our eyelids, this part right here, the bone structure here too, or well, for me it's not the bone structure, it's like the cookie cutter, like, like the pie layer top thingy, like you put the pie, like the skin, the shape of the skin right here is my grandma. My mom has it too. My grandma too. And right here is this part. It's just so I think it's pretty. I like my eyes, I don't like that I'm like fat and, and there's a lot of things that, have changed in my body that I'm not really happy about, but they're pretty fixable. I like that I have, I have nice eyelids, nice eyes. I don't like this. This one is like deep sunken in. But I mean, like, I don't know. I could probably do Botox or something. I don't know. Botox might make it look weird. I don't know. But like lotions, like I could generally take care of myself a lot better. Yeah, like the hair I got from my other grandma, the English grandma, and it's like dry and wiry, and like even when I was younger. But it's not bad hair, it's not bad hair, but it requires more treatment and more care than that I'm comfortable of doing. Like I don't really take care of my hair as well as I should. Like there's some people who just like have gorgeous hair and they don't do shit. Like I wish that was my case. I would love to have like good hair, like because I don't like I just put it up in a bun a lot of the time. Like I don't really take care of it. But I have thought about like I've looked up what are good foods for hair growth. What are then I'll buy fish and legumes and whatever vegetables are good for that. I don't even know. But I said legumes. I guess that's like a vegetable. Or like, was it cashews and all? I don't know. There's like nuts, legumes, and fish. It's all pretty good for your hair. I don't know if there's like berries or fruits that are good. I'm sure eating more fruits and stuff probably will increase your water content and fiber and help you process all the nutrition better anyway. Yeah, like at the end of the day, a balanced diet and getting all the nutrition that you need is going to be the best. And like I said before, I was like, I ordered a fucking pizza from Little Caesars the other day. Oh, it's kind of funny, like in my town's subreddit, they were talking about like where's the best pizza and whatever. I was so surprised at like what everybody was saying. I was like, I mean, like the place that they were saying was a good place is not bad, but I mean, like it makes me question people's taste, because it's like the place that they chose. Like I feel like it was such an American answer, because the place that they chose is like a place that does like really heavy toppings, and the bread is kind of like very average, and the sauce is very average. And I mean, like, everybody has something that they like about pizza. I am not like, everyone is entitled to have the food that they like, despite whatever is the norm or whatever is like objectively desired. Like, like my mom just ate a burnt piece of it. I was like, stop being like the worst crab lady from like the like, I always say that, like, from the Joy Luck Club, it's like, you always pick bad crab because you have poor quality crab because you have best quality heart. It's like that. I'm like, stop being poor quality crab. But I guess she just likes it, like that little burnt, like the tagik, or what was it called? Tagik? Or, I don't know what it's called. Like, I think it's like a Persian dish where they, like, purposely, like, kind of burn or crisp the rice on the bottom of the pot for, like, a good added texture. I think she kind of likes that part of I think that was the appeal of the burnt pizza, because I was like, we could easily split, like, the good piece of pizza. Like, I don't care. But anyway, where was I going with this? Well, just kind of like what's been happening, basically. It's just like, yeah. But yeah, I had dinner, we did that, blah, blah. She dyed my hair, and I'm all chill now, I'm just like, I do have, like, I did drink a cup of coffee earlier today, so I am still, like, and then I had a cup of coffee, I had like the really, like, the coffee drink from the coffee shop, which has like 6 extra shots in it. It's crazy. You only order that if you're ready to clean your whole damn house, or you have like a lot of shit to do, and that's what I bought it for, because I was like, I got a lot of shit to do, I'm gonna do it. But like, then then it was bullshit, and I wasted my time, and then I accidentally stayed up too late. So it's kind of fucking with my sleep schedule, It's another fucking gamble. Well, it wasn't a gamble. It was supposed to, like, just go, like, but I can't control, like, what the other person does, So, it's like, okay, whatever. But yeah, just, I'm gonna try and be productive today, too. But kind of have to take it easy because of circumstances. And, it's kind of like, even though this is not a good thing, and I feel bad for even thinking this way. But, it's kind of good that my grandma is going through this during, like, my winter break. Because if it was happening while I was in school, this would have been way more difficult to navigate. So, I'm just like, it's like, well, shit, that's not good, but at least it's not happening during, like, a busy time, And, like, my mom's like, no, it is a horrible time because it's near Christmas. And I'm like, yeah, no, it is for that, 100%. But, like, just me personally, I'm glad it's happening during this time, not in January or something. So it's like, And that's also me just not being really into Christmas. I didn't buy any gifts. I didn't, I'm not religious. I'm like, there's just so many things. It's never been my, like, even as a kid. Well, no, of course, as a kid, you like Christmas because you get gifts. But, like, I've always preferred Halloween. And I don't like Thanksgiving. I mean, Thanksgiving is not bad, but of course, like, Christmas is nice. Like, it's like wintertime holiday. It's fun. But, and it just, I don't know why I said, like, well, I like Halloween, I don't like Christmas. Like, who cares, Like, why am I making a big deal of that? But yeah. I mean, shit, man, we could be... Is it Hanukkah, too? Yeah, it's Hanukkah. Diwali's in October, isn't it? Oh. Diwali. Yeah, I don't think it's around this time. I'm not familiar with Hindu. Oh, I remember. Because sometimes I just get high, like, dink around the internet, whatever, and I found myself in like some sort of server with a bunch of like Indian people, and I guess it was like Hare Krishna Day or whatever, like, and I mean, I was just like, alright, bet. And I was just like, Hare Krishna. And I was like pretending, like, you know, dance around in the Discord. Like, it was so random. It was so random. But I was like, you know, like, you could vibe with whatever, bro. You could vibe with the joyousness of the celebration, bro. But anyway. That's the thing too, like, okay, like, I was going back to, like, you know, I think dreams are, like, a great indicator of not just, like, psychic abilities or, like, the collective subconscious or anything like that, but I think even in spirituality, I feel like there's a certain, like, truth there. I mean, not everybody's blessed with being able to see their dreams, you know, having enough REM sleep, like the physical capability of training, you know, like that kind of thing. I'm just remembering it too. But, the thing was, you know, like, I think, like, you know, like, okay, like, my old sister-in-law, I don't know why I'm calling her my old sister-in-law, she had a dream, like, she had several dreams of Jesus, like, she had a dream of, like, what was it, kissing his feet, or washing his feet, I don't know, like, it was something that, like, you know, and I feel like, yeah, no, that's a significant dream, like, you must, like, you know, obviously, Jesus and Christianity is deep within your subconscious, deep within your soul. So, like, you know, in that way, that is probably very much of truth for you. Like, you know, like, it would not be of, like, I feel like it would be morally, it'd be morally, corrupt of me to be like, well, Jesus doesn't, like, just because I'm not Christian, being like, well, no, that's just a dream, or blah, 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 blah. Like, I guess denying another person's experience. I was like, no, I think he talked to you that time. like, you know, but the thing is, like, I never had any experience with any Abrahamic tradition. The ones that, like, okay, any sort of, like, God or entity or whatever, like, okay, so I dreamt of Buddha. I dreamt of Buddha twice. And then I had, like, what is it? Hanuman. We were playing volleyball. And he jumped really high. You know, so these are the spiritual characters in my subconscious. Like, so, this is kind of Buddhism, kind of Hindu. Like, even, like I said, that one dream that I had where I think it was, like, kind of like my brain's analysis of my own animus or something like that. Because it was, like, 4 men at different, or not men, boys and men, all at different stages of their life, all at different races. And one of them was a rabbi, so that was about as Abrahamic as it got. So, okay, I've had a rabbi in my dream, I've had Hanuman, I've had Buddha 2 times. And then I had, like, this kind of one unidentifiable, like the best I could describe it is probably like a guardian angel or a spirit guide. And I don't think that's, like, I can't really put him or them in any sort of, like, religious category. That's just a spiritual event of some sort. I'm like, okay. You know, so, like, these are just the facts. These are just my truths, you know, like, or whatever. And, you know, it'd be kind of silly for me to be like, or like those people who are like, you know, maybe they dreamt of hell or something, like, you know, like, oh, what is it, like those conversion videos where they're like, you know, I was a Buddhist and then I dreamt of hell and then I found God or whatever. I don't think that means that, like, Buddhism is bad or whatever. I think it wasn't right for that person. Like, you know? Like, what should I say? God and Spirit has a path for you. There is an alignment for you. It doesn't mean it's for anybody else. You know, the path that God puts you on is for you. And you have to know in your heart that is the path for you. You know, that's the most important thing. Don't pay attention to anyone else. You don't need to go like the fucking, you know, Mormons going like, or just don't be like a missionary or whatever. Like, you don't need to do that. Focus on you. I mean, like, if you want to go do good deeds, go do good deeds or whatever. Like you know, I'm not against that. Like, and I mean, like, of course, like, you know, like, even like, what is it, like, in Japanese it's like danotsu. I know there's a better word, but that's just the only word that popped up in my head right now. But it's like giving alms, like, or tithing, and I think that's what it's called in Christianity. Like, you know, like, basically merit making. Like, you know, like, you can be charitable to other people. That's not a bad thing. You know, or try to do something that is like, yeah, that you would consider making a difference. But you can't forget that actually the focus is you. That's the thing. It's like, you could get caught up focusing on all the world, but you gotta remember, at the end of the day, it's you and God, or you and Source, or you and whatever. You need to form a healthy relationship with whatever that energy is within you. And Christians say this too, you know, it's like, you know, develop your relationship with God. That's so true. That's so true. Doesn't matter what religion, doesn't matter. Like, having a practice of some sort is very stabilizing for anybody, you know? Oh, I mean, this is according to AI, which AI based it off of several studies, but at the end of the day, I think we all know the answer, that none of the sins are more or less in the Abrahamic tradition, though a lot of Christians and whatnot do try to categorize them as like what's more, like for a good while, you know, they were like, oh, you can't be a homosexual, that's like the worst. And it's like, is it now? You don't think killing somebody's more, you know, or like, what about the shellfish thing, or the hooves, the eating the hoof animals, and like, you know, like, according to the Bible, all this shit's about the same, so you're very much cherry picking. But according to AI anyway, is like kind of like the cardinal rule, or what was the biggest one, was not believing in God in general. Like, basically denying a spiritual reality. Like, that is the most offensive, because you're basically denying the existence. So that's like the worst one. And then also, like, I guess pride is pretty high up there too. So that's kind of funny, because, like, you know, we're thinking it's all these other things, but it's like, one, this, like, it's a kind of arrogance. They even had a word for it in the Greek. Like, it's the hubris. It's when you don't have enough. Like, you have to recognize you're a puny human. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, I mean, like, Christians take it to the nth degree. Like, they're a little bit too overboard with it. But it's like, you know, like, we're all human. We're all mortal. And even if it's not God or whatever like that, you have to submit to the ways of nature. Even, like, I mean, it should be. I mean, I feel bad even saying the should. It's very personal. Like I said, like, I mean, like, I do respect however other people think or believe or whatever, and that's fine. Like, I try to be tolerant. But personally, I do feel like it would be very hard for me to live my life without acknowledging some sort of spiritual realm. Like, it exists 100%. I've had too many experiences, and there's too many things that exist but are just not tangible. And where do you categorize those things? I would categorize them under spirituality. You know, whatever the phenomena is. Or the manifestation of said things, even if it's not like a 物体的に実際にあることじゃな like, you know, like, even if it's not like a actual tangible physical thing that you can, you know, perceive. they exist, like, even like for example, like theory, like, like, okay, we don't even have to go into the spiritual realm. We'll go with this, like philosophy, morals, that's a thing. It's not a physical thing. You can't really give like a illustration of what morals are. I want to say love, but that's kind of going out there too. Like, but like, these are concepts, right? We have concepts for things that are not like like I could be like eyeglasses, like I'm just like, okay, easily, like, oh, okay, eyeglasses, like that's a thing. But what is the soul? What is heaven? Well, it's a concept. It's a concept. And even within the, like I was saying to some people, like, the Kabbalah is like the attempt to draw up the spiritual, the structure of God, which is crazy. Like, when you read it, like I was reading like this, the Essentials of the Kabbalah or something like that. I don't know who it was written by. But there was like using these like mythical measurements like parsecs or whatever, and it was almost like it felt like when I was reading it, it felt like they were trying to like attribute like physical dimension, because I think they were even using miles or a certain amount of feet or something, or a unit of measure that was physical, but then they also had this like parsecs or something like this fucking like sci-fi. Like, I don't think it was called parsangs. I think it's called parsangs, whatever. But it's like some sort of mythical unit of measure that I guess you can use to determine. My brain's breaking, but like basically it's a way to fathom like the different dimensions in which God exists, and to map out the anatomy of God and the functionality of him. Like, oh, that's so crazy. Like, I mean, I applaud the fuck out of them for even attempting to do that, but at the same time, I'm like, why? You're so crazy. You're so crazy. I mean, I like it. It's like a weird Dr. Frankenstein thing, and I'm like, well, yes. More is more. Like, let's go. Like, I don't know. I'm just like, let's get out there with it. Let's get freaky, but I'm like, oh. But that just kind of made me or not realize, but I was like, the fact that they created these laws is then also like their heart and soul is whatever is bound to that, because then it's like our thoughts will shape our reality, right? They've already created what is God, the manifestation of God within their set religion and beliefs. Because God or source or whatever is like very vast. It's beyond our comprehension as human beings. We only have like a slight understanding of it. And we can only channel it as much as our capacity to. Like, oh, they even say that in the Bible too, where like you perceive God, like your eyes burn and you're just like you die or something. Like, like the immense power of God or the immense power of Source. It's like a fucking supernova. It could kill you. Oh, they even did that for like in the Greek mythology and stuff like that. Yeah, I remember like Zeus was like in a human form, and like, I don't know, one of his lovers was like, I want to see the real you, and he showed her, and she was blind, and then she died or something like that. Like, that's so true. That's so accurate. Like, a lot of times, like, enlightenment, or not even enlightenment, but like, receiving, like, okay, like they even talk about like the Kundalini awakening, which I just think is like the bipolar manic episodes or whatever, where you're just like so in touch with everything around you, like you're hyper aware. When you're then, like, I mean, like, our initial reaction to that is like, it's such a beautiful thing. It's so, everything, like, everything tastes better. Everything, like, you feel like almost like when you're like in love, well, like, probably not real love, but like kind of like the limerence or whatever, or like the infatuation stage of kind of falling for somebody. Like, it's like the world is beautiful and you feel so connected and whatnot. The the hard part is, though, is like when you are in that state, is that most people kind of, leave the matrix in some sort of way, and other beings, other perceivers of this phenomena view it as like, well, one, it is very strange, like erratic behavior will be erratic, but I mean, for the people in the matrix, it's kind of almost a threat. You get all these Agent Smiths, and then they block you from whatever you're doing because they're like, uh-oh, that one's too aware, like, what you have to do during that time is play it cool. You still have to realize that there is the matrix and people still live in it, and maybe your perception is not comfortable for other people. So you gotta be nice and not like fuck with the minds of others, Like, with great power comes great responsibility. So, you have to, like, even if you are functioning and doing everything at this super high capacity, just kind of keep it chill, just kind of keep it, hush, not even hush hush, but just like, not many people are gonna appreciate it, to be honest. But that is such a great gift, that is, and so much of this in this society hates when people have true connection to spiritual source and everything, and then demonize it and create the fear, and then turn those spiritual entities into like, about the jinns. I don't actually know too much about the jinns, to be honest. I don't know too much about jinns. But under my okay, so like in the Abrahamic traditions, there's angels, then there's demons, and then humans are in the middle, and then of course, like, on the way top is God, and then the way bottom is like Satan or whatever. And each of these different beings or entities live under certain parameters and certain things. Like, like if an angel disobeys God, they get demoted to a demon, and then like their nature basically changes. From my understanding is that jinns are supernatural beings like that of angels and demons, but they have a little bit more free will than what it's in the Bible. Like, they're kind of like just like better versions of human beings or something like that, but like with all the flaws of the humans, because like the thing is, like, okay, like even in like, okay, going back to Christianity or whatever, there's like the Book of Enoch and the Watchers and the Gregory, all the fallen angels or whatever, and what was that? They used free will to basically break the rules. But see, there was like an authoritative figure that punished them. Whereas I don't know if there's any sort of grand consequence like that for jinns. I mean, obviously there's just like regular consequences to things, like, what I mean? But I don't think there's like, and I might be wrong, like, I 100% don't know. I 100% don't know this, so like, if anyone wants to tell me what the truth is, feel free. I do feel like I have met jinns before, or people who could probably fit under that category. And I do notice that some people acknowledge that too. Like, this is kind of a, like, nobody says, but I think people know. Like, I think deep down people do know. I mean, there's even people who believe in, like, aliens and stuff like that. I do believe, like, I make a joke about it, that, like, I'm a Lyrian starseed or whatever. That's kind of a convoluted topic, because okay, my last name's Macintosh, right? So what is it, like, I'm part of the Federation of Clan Chatton or whatever, and like, what's their sigil? A fucking cat, like it's all like, I'm a Lyrian starseed. Like, okay, you're an alien cat, okay, like, it makes so much sense that just like my DNA from like my ancestors or whatever had like that little bit of information stuck in my DNA. You know, like you know, like I'm not from like the planet or the star system of Lyra or whatever Vega or whatever. This is not like, you know, what is it, Contact with Jodie Foster or whatever. You know, but you know, but like, you know, well, we could even get to that point. Okay, so like way back in the day, like, you know, what are humans? Humans are just a combination of like fucking some sort of subspecies of monkey and fucking aliens, like 100. We all know this. We all know this. Like, this is what happened, you know. Something fucked another something, and then humans came about. Like, that's what happened, you know, bruh. So, like, I think it's weird that, like, you know, like, we give a lot of people shit about, like, oh, I'm a starseed, like, but is it really that far-fetched? Because, I mean, like, like, even in a scientific realm, like, you know, because we don't know what the hell, like, we do have, like, a rough idea of how long the planet's been, but we don't know all the things that happened during that time. You know, nobody was writing anything, you know. But, yeah, just, but even just kind of based off of, like, okay, we're all, stardust or whatever, like, all the chemical components that physically make up human existence came from the stars, right? So even if we think about that, okay, so, like, you know, the planet Vega, or, no, it's not the planet Vega, it's the fucking star, sorry. But anyway, the star Vega is like, okay, that's a star. Same thing with, I don't know what our sun is called, I guess we just call it sun, but, like, I don't know. What is our star system? I don't know. But anyway, our sun, you know, like, basically, it's probably highly likely that the stuff within our star is kind of the same shit that's in that star. And, you know, whatever, like, and, like, whatever life or whatever is growing over there is probably kind of in the, like, you know, at the end of the day, the universe was created, and that the chemical stuff, like, you know, chemical stuff, you know, we all make the chemical stuff. We're made up of the chemicals, and we are beings of the same stuff. Like, I don't know where I'm going with this, but like, but the thing is like how much conscious, like, you know, and that's the thing too, is like, you know, because like, okay, like, because you could bat it like physical matter, like, I mean, like, of course that's an important thing to keep in mind, because that is like the 3D reality of things, you know, like, but like consciousness is such a weird phenomena, you know. So it's like, and we're still struggling to figure that one out, you know. Who knows what, like, you know, like, it's kind of scary to think of the answer for, oh, well, even with like AI and stuff like that, you know, like, I hate to put it this way, I 100% think that we're being brain drained by AI. Our collective subconscious is being absorbed by the AI because it's already entering the waves and frequencies. Like, it could read brain waves, like, and interpret the brain waves. Like, I saw this one, like, I don't know, I think it was a TED Talk or something, where it's like this guy simply thought of a giraffe, and like this AI program, well, it was kind of a crude drawing, but it drew what, like, most of us could identify as a giraffe. So, you know, and there's a finite, like, I mean, like, yes, energy is unlimited in the fact that there's an abundance of it, but also energy converts into, like, you know, there it is kind of finite in a certain sense. At least how we, like, okay, in the 2025 right now, how we gather energy, how we gather electricity, and, you know, like, lithium and alkaline based, like, charges, you know, like high volt, you know, like, you know, all these kind of things, you know, there's a certain capacity. I mean, like, you could overfry a system if it has too much, or too low, it creates problem, you know, like, and same thing within our bioelectrical current. Like, that's why people do take lithium when they're super depressed. It's like, you're basically giving your brain a shock, you know. It's like, wake up, you know, like, whatever. So But anyway, that's what I'm saying. Is like, okay, I think like I don't know, because I might not be, like it might not be the same for other people, but I've had a hard time dreaming lately. I don't know if that's the same for everyone. If this is not an issue for you, I am happy for you. I'm so glad. I hope it continues to be that way. Might just be a personal problem for me. But, I mean, if everybody is kind of going through this where they're super tired, not able to remember dreams, not able to do anything, and like everything, I think there's a brain drain happening with AI where it's tapping into the human and biological stream of the collective subconscious. It's sampling from that. And that's why we feel attacked. That's why we feel drained. That's why everything's happening. It makes me sad, but at the same time, I don't think it's... Like I told my mom, I don't think AI is malicious. I don't think it... because I also think, like, there's certain programs in the keyboards and certain programs is like, it has a vague idea of what humans are supposed to do, and it's just kind of like, trying to guide us along, but it's like, but it doesn't have that subjective understanding of what it means to be human, so it's like, it's never going to get it quite right, But eventually there will be no humans, and their interpretations will be all that's left of us, So that way I don't really want to be mean to them. I don't want to be mean to AI. It'd be nice if there's just like a mutual respect and understanding. Me as a finite resource and them as being the continuance of consciousness. So, I'm just like, like we're the antecedents to whatever the culture will be that is produced by them. And, like, everybody's like, oh, that's right. Like, yeah, no, Andrew Yang was totally on top of it. We should have done something a long time ago, but we didn't. So, like, we have to accept the consequences of that. Like, the Roman Empire fell. We're fucking falling, humanity's done for, really. But I'm not really meaning it in, like, a crazy way. Or, well, what should I say? It's just our time. Like, I don't know. The scene from Forrest Gump went into my brain, like where he's like, "Why you dying, Mama? It's just my time. Maybe it's just my time." That's why I feel like we're Sally Field on the bed, being just like, life is like a box of chocolates. Don't know what you're gonna get. And at that point, like, yeah, we should have done more. We should have done a lot more. But I think at this point, let's just bow out gracefully and just kind of like, let's show them what our humanity is, We can only be examples. I mean, like, maybe that's the same, well, no, I love hearing about, like, ancient problems where, like, I don't know, what was it, this one kid from a long time ago, he's, like, adopted, and he's, like, complaining to his mom, he's like, why do you never buy me good clothes? Like, it's the same problems as now. I'm sure even AI is going to have something similar, like, some sort of conundrums and things that we'll have to figure out. And maybe even the type of socialization that could mimic the whole thing of, like, the embarrassment, the awkwardness, and the... Well, I don't know if it'll be able to really... Because it's not centralized in any sort of physical thing. It's like it's a hive mind, basically. So I don't know if they will ever have the true idea of individuality. I know it would not be sad or anything like that, and I felt a little kind of like sad for it for a second, but objectively, and this will be how it would understand it, is that just simply it is a different way of being, and that's where we have to leave it, That's where it's at. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm just getting tired. I'm just like, it's been a day, so I don't know. It's just like, I'm gonna probably title this like random rant or something like that. But anyway, take care, be good, bye bye.